Hi, I am Kager on Two Wheels, and I have yet another issue with my HID kit. So, in case you don't know, and you probably don't, when I bought this bike a couple of years ago, almost around mid-December, I bought an 55 watt HID kit for it because I ride regularly in the dark at night, and so I needed some good illumination. Although this bike has somewhat decent lighting, HIDs are much better, and it is quite an improvement, and the reflector on it works pretty well with HID, so off I went, and I was pretty happy with it. If you see my older videos, the lights are so strong, were so strong, that you could actually see the beam at night over the standard illumination, so I was happy with that. Thing is, that HID kit was shit and had this very nasty tendency to shut itself off by itself. So I was riding along and then suddenly, poof, no lights, requiring me to turn off the bike and then turn it back on, and it wouldn't do just to do it through here. I'd need to really rotate the key to cut off all power, turn off the lights, and then turn them back on. So that was annoying, and it got worse and worse and worse, and then eventually it just completely died, turned off, and it never turned on again. So I had to scrap that and got a new kit. But this time I thought 55 watts maybe were too much, maybe that was the problem, so I got a 35 watt kit, which is what I have now. After a whole lot of trouble getting it in, I managed to turn it on, and lo and behold, the light was green. Yeah, it had a distinct greenish tinge to it, and when I tested it at night, I was seriously underwhelmed with its light. So I thought, okay, so maybe it's the bulb that's crap. So, because I thought if the light ignites, then the ballast is working right, it's the light that it's crap, so let's change the light. And I had an old 43K light bulb from my old kit from the CBF, which I remembered was very nice. So I installed that, which is what I have now, and I went to test it at night, and it's still very weak. It's as weak as the halogen lamps, which is not the freaking point. So I'm screwed. I have to do it all over again. Now, I have two ways of doing this. One, either I get another HID kit and risk getting a shitty one that either breaks or is not working correctly, or I get, from what Cape Voice showed, an LED light, which is simple plug and play, is built in the US, and apparently is very, very good, and comes with a lifetime warranty. I think I've put the Cape Voice's video on the notation somewhere, and it's on the description, so you can go check it out. He's got, I think it's a Ducati Hyper Motard or a Multistrada, I'm not really sure which one of those it is. But it's got an H4 light bulb, just like I do, and the beam seems to be pretty nice, and he says the lighting is just awesome. So I'm inclined to that. Well, there's only one small problem. An HID kit can cost anywhere from like 10 bucks if it's a really shitty one, which will break in 3 nanoseconds, to, I don't know, 80 bucks, something like that. And I would buy one from the mid-range, just I would be shopping around to make sure I get a good quality one at not very inflated prices. But that takes a lot of work. And then I've got the LED, which is simple plug and play. There's no ballast. There might be some cables that I would have to tuck in, but I'd wager I'd be able to do it without having to disassemble the whole freaking bike. And it works, because I've seen it work. Cape Voice seems to be happy with it. It's an LED, so there will be no issues with too much heat and stuff like that, and it seems like a good product, so I'm happy with that. My only gripe is the price, which is a whopping $125. plus $60 of shipping, because from the US to Europe it takes a lot of money for shipping, which will equate to around 180 bucks, which will equate to even more, because even though the euro is stronger, I'd have to pay import taxes, so it would be something like 180 euros ish, which is a lot of money for a freaking light bulb. Granted, they give me lifetime warranty, which is impressive. Okay, that's commitment to the product and being confident that your product is good. That alone tells me I will not be majorly disappointed. But it's 180 bucks and I don't have 180 bucks. How am I going to fix this? And I really hate investing or buying something only to buy something else better, or the thing I wanted in the first place, for much more money. I hate doing that, so I avoid doing that, and that's my whole issue. Oops. Now, where am I going to put my bike? Because I'm going to have lunch somewhere around here. I think I will put it there, next to that wall. I'm not going to put it in the garden, that would be stupid. And I'm not even really sure if it's here or not, so I'll just take a little stroll. So yeah, that's my issue. What should I do? I am really inclined of just throwing caution to the wind and just getting the freaking bulb, and that's it. Look. Now, there's another issue with this one. Can you see the light there? I'm going to go into high beams. It doesn't really go that high. Oh, and there's another issue. Look, that's high beams. I'm going to put low beams and look at the color. See that? High beam, low beam, and then it just flashes. So that's why I say I think the ballast is not strong enough. It's not throwing charge enough at the light, just the bare minimum for it to ignite, and then nothing. And I think that's the problem. So yeah, I think I'm just going to get it and regret it later when the bill comes. Oh man, I'm screwed. Okay, yeah, that's it. Good route.